Like many others, I had been working away in isolation. For me, this new organization was a voice in the wilderness. And I can honestly say, 20 years later, that the Guild has made a real difference in my career and my life as a working artist. And that's the God's honest truth. It's also one of the main reasons that the Seattle metals community has become known as a national metals powerhouse. People move here because of this community. I'm looking at two of them right now from Virginia. Big wave now. There they are. So it's really happening. Anyway, where was I? The fact that we are all here today, in fact, is testament to the Seattle Metals Guild. It remains a vital and important organization. Please do not take this organization for granted. If you are not already a member, join the Guild. Tell a friend to join. If you have ideas or even criticisms, we might cry a little bit, but it's worth hearing. Please share them. Participate. Make a difference. Our next speaker is Lynne Hall. As one of the founding members of the Seattle Metals Guild, Lynne Hall was also there at the beginning, when the Guild's eyes had barely even opened. Lynne is one of those rare and endangered species, a native Washingtonian. There's very few of them. She received her BFA from the UW and went on to earn her MFA from Rochester Institute of Technology. Now Lynne heads the metals program at North Seattle Community College. She's a tireless and important contributor to the metals community here in Seattle and the Northwest. Please welcome Lynne Hall.
Wow, thank you, Andy. This has been a really interesting journey for me to go back and look at the last 20 years of the Seattle Metals Guild and also reflect on my last 20 years as a metalsmith. And I'm like Andy, it has been a profound impact on me as a metalsmith and as an educator. So that said, I'd like to let you know that I'm honored to have the opportunity to give this brief overview of the Seattle Metals Guild's first 20 years. As a founding member, I hope to remind all of us of how instrumental the Guild has been in strengthening and supporting the metalsmithing field. I do want to thank the people that actually that I got in contact with about sending me information and slides for this, and it was John Castor, Jane Martin was essential in this, Ron Pascoe helped out a lot, Aaron Barr sent stuff, and Nancy Warden wrote a few things and gave me a little bit of insight to what I needed to talk about with the outreach program. So I want to thank all of you guys that did that and encourage any of you members that have been around to go home, take a look, see if you've got photos, if you have any thoughts. And get them to me, because I think we've really been somewhat negligent in putting an archival system together for our Guild. So, great, the first slide's up. Long before the Guild was established, there was a strong metalsmithing contingent in our region. This was mainly in the academic environment. The University of Washington established its jewelry program in 1916. It flourished with graduates such as Ruth Pennington, who went on to head the metals program in 1940 and taught in her retirement until 1967. Ruth spawned students such as Ramona Solberg. John Marshall was hired in 1968, headed the metals program, and brought Mary Hu on board in 1980 to round out the program. Other schools around the region contributed to the health of our field. Central Washington University at Ellensburg spawned a loose jewelry community in the 1960s and 70s with faculty like Ramona Solberg, Don Tompkins, and Ken Corey. Everett Community College offered a fine arts program with a strong jewelry department run by Russell Day. While our field flourished in the academic world, there was also a group of interested people rock-hounding, cutting stones, and creating jewelry outside of academia. The Creative Jewelry Guild of Puget Sound was established in the late 1940s and ran strong up through the 70s until its membership grew old and the energy to keep the guild going was gone. In 1980, a group of women began gathering to talk metal and support each other. These women included Catherine Vandenbrink, Judith Starbuck, Candace Beardsley, and Mary Hu. In 1988, two jewelers, Jane Martin and Mickey Lippy, moved to the Northwest. They met, talked about how Seattle was rich with jewelers but had no guild. Mickey, being good at networking, gathered names from Chris Williams and began contacting jewelers from around the area. Jane describes it as Mickey being a spark to kindling. A newsletter was sent out December 11th, 1988, called the Northwest Metals Guild, name yet to be determined. This letter asked the community to become involved in developing a guild. Back in our early days, documentation and details of our beginnings are somewhat vague. This is why, with the help of Jay Karskadden and Molly Epstein, I have constructed a timeline that the Guild's first 20 years. And I want to thank Jay and Molly for stepping up and really helping get that timeline put together for me. So thank you, you guys. So, I have posted the timeline up in the lunch area for everyone to look at. Please add your input. Your recollections will help fill in the timeline and enhance the telling of our story. Post-it notes are available so that you can add your thoughts. The information on this timeline has come directly out of the newsletter and is available on our website for all of us to read. My hopes are that the next 20 years will be better documented. In early 1989, we gathered and discussed what we wanted the Guild to be, how it could benefit our members and the community. Jane Martin wanted the Guild for continuing education since she was not going on to graduate school. I myself, doing production work in a studio alone, wanted a community of like-minded artists to keep fresh. Mickey Lippy wanted the Guild to be open to everyone and inclusive. No juring to become a member, and no membership levels. We would all be in this together. It was agreed upon that the Guild's mission would be to bring together all factors of our field, to share and exchange knowledge and information. Figuring out the Guild's purpose was the easy part. The hard part was naming the Guild. In the beginning, we were called Daedalus Association of Metalsmiths. By October 1989, a newsletter named the Seattle Metals Guild was in print. Back in our March 1989 meeting, a structure of the board was established, and our first workshop set, Alternative Materials, held in Catherine Vandenbrink's studio. At this workshop, we conducted a business meeting that set the board in motion. Nominations went out, voting took place, and at the first end of the year June party, the board was announced. Mickey Lippy became president, Jane Martin vice president, Susan Gallup secretary, Lynne Hull treasurer, Chris Williams membership, and Catherine Vandenbrink and Andy, our only boy, became our floating board members, whatever that meant. Our second workshop was taking care of business by Claudia Bach, then followed by a fold-forming workshop by some guy named Charles Luton Brain. Jane Martin was instrumental in bringing him to Seattle, and we realized that the sky was the limit. In the beginning, the Guild provided general meetings which relied on local talent. This provided us with the opportunity to get to know each other. We also established a library which remains in use today. In 1990, Chris Williams hosted the first Seattle Metals Guild swap meet at her house and studio. At later meets, Phil Baldwin has begun to bring his Mokume shorts, which has become the highlight of this event. Workshop seems to be the focal point. We began bringing a nationally known artist to our doorstep. This list is impressive, but there are also some obvious local talents missing. The socials established early on became an important tradition. The end-of-the-year parties have included a pool party at my parents' community clubhouse and a dance party at Camp Long. These remind us of our younger days. This is at one of Jane's end-of-the-year parties where people were painting the fence for her. In 1994, the end-of-the-year June parties were combined with our annual studio tour, always ending with a fabulous potluck. Trying not to offend anyone, our Christmas party became the ornament exchange. This gave the membership an opportunity to create something different, theme-oriented, that might not normally come out of their studio. In 2006, North Seattle Community College hosted in their art gallery 18 years of ornaments made by our members. It was an impressive show and creative with lots of talent. This year, the board has added the picnic social, which I hope will become another lasting tradition. Exhibitions were one of the events that the founding members wanted to provide for its membership. SMG's first show was held in 1990 at Artworks in Pioneer Square. The second show in 1991 was held at Pratt Fine Arts Center so that every member could have the opportunity to show their work. A non-juried membership and then trying to find places to have an exhibition can oftentimes be difficult. By 1993, it was realized how much work it took to put on these shows, and our biannual was born. In 1995, the Washington State Convention Center was the host of our biannual and continued to be in that location until 2006, when the exhibition was housed at the SeaTac Airport. With the 2011 SNAG conference being held in Seattle, I am sure that we will have another impressive biennial show to offer. Let's all get out, get started making some new work for this national conference. In 1994, the University of Washington, FACHERES, and SMG hosted the first symposium. It was held at the University of Washington in Room 3. With time, the Guild, having developed financial basis, took over the responsibility of this symposium. The Guild has continued to provide top-notch events that draw people from around the region, like this one that we're all at here today. This is one of the areas that really needs better documentation, and so I'm going to put out a plea to people that have been involved in this in the past to drop me a note, send pictures or something so we can add it to the archives. Along with the symposium's inception in 1994, the Women's Shelter Project was launched by Mickey Lippy. This worthy cause brings our members together to refurbish donated jewelry items that can then be given to women in need. Donations from all walks of life have made this cause possible. 1994 was also the year that SMG membership came together and created the first Pratt necklace. This necklace was the Guild's way of saying thanks to Pratt for hosting so many of our Guild events. Each year, the Guild membership steps up, takes time to create a bead for this necklace project. Every year, we're amazed not only at how beautiful the necklace comes together, but also how much money is raised for Pratt at their May auction. In 1998, the SNAG conference was held in Seattle and provided an opportunity for the Guild to come together and help Mickey Lippy and Marcia Bruno, co-chairs of the conference. There were pre- and post-conference workshops sponsored by the Guild and held both at Pratt Fine Arts Center and North Seattle Community College. Our first show catalog was published for the biannual show and marked our 10 years of existence. With the Guild's support, this conference was memorable and a great success. And I certainly encourage everyone to get out there and sign up and help out with this conference that's coming up. It's a huge project, but incredibly worthwhile. So sign up and help support this next one. In 2002, a cause dear to my heart was born. An outreach committee was established by the Guild to begin finding ways to bring up the next generation of metalsmiths. Nancy Warden and David Gackenbach were instrumental in developing this outreach program. Nancy began offering classes to high school teachers to help develop their technical skills and become more effective in the classroom. Along with the educational outreach for the teachers, an exhibition called Passing of the Torch was created. This exhibition was designed to offer incentive to high school jewelry students to compete in a statewide competition. The first exhibition was in Tacoma and involved 11 high schools from Western Washington. The second year, it was held in Gallery 1 in Ellensburg in hopes of including schools from both sides of the mountains. North Seattle Community College, Bellevue Arts Museum, and the Seattle Art Museum have also hosted this competition. In 2004, Ginger Kelly, then the SMG president, established our lecture series. Each new year, 4 monthly lectures are held at the Seattle Pacific University with guest speakers covering a wide variety of topics. Aaron Barr took over the coordinating job for this event in 2006 and has helped enrich the Guild's programming. In the midst of the dreary Seattle weather, we all have this wonderful and free opportunity to get out and experience something about our field that might broaden our perspective. I am sure that we will all be surprised at the next interesting collection of speakers Aaron will spring on us. In 2007, our current president, John Castor, established the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Seattle Metals Guild. Mary Hu and Helene Pavula were the first to be honored by the Guild, followed by Ron Ho and Harold Belays. I hope that each one of you will think about the people who stand out in the field and deserve recognition for their efforts and contributions and nominate them. At coffee one day, the same year with John Castor, he suggested that the Guild start a scholarship program. As president, John felt that it would help strengthen and support the Guild's mission. I quickly jumped at the opportunity and offered to design a scholarship program around metalsmiths that had contributed to our field but were no longer with us. Hence, names like Ruth Pennington, Ramona Solberg, Chris Williams, Sharon Bordway, and George McLean came to mind. Excuse me, emotional here. It quickly fell into place. Ruth Pennington would represent the teaching grant, of course. Ramona Solberg, the travel grant, that was obvious. The continuing ed scholarship would be named after Chris Williams, founding Guild member who established the continuing ed jewelry program at North Seattle Community College. Sharon Bordway's memory would be honored with the matriculated student scholarship. And George McLean for the special topics grant. There have been 6 recipients of these awards, hopefully with many more to come. I hope people will get involved, support the scholarship program, and also apply. The list of Guild events and programs is impressive, especially since this is an all-volunteer organization. Some years have been stronger than others, depending on the membership's desire to get involved. I can only say that my hopes are that we will grow and change with what is happening in the world and foster the next generation of smiths to step up, get involved, and make the Guild what they want and need it to be. Studio art is a lonely path that can stunt an artist's growth. Guilds offer a place to expand one's view, learn new technical information, share and try out new ideas. Good art comes from collaboration. I think our first speaker kind of showed that. As Joni Mitchell once said in her song, 2 heads are better than one. Thank you.